What's going on, CrossFit Federal Way? It is Friday. We have reached the end of the work week of week number 1. And today we were originally going to do Helen. So we're going to still try to do that benchmark workout, at least to the best of our ability. So today's workout is going to be Helen-ish. So Helen traditionally is going to be a 400-meter run, 21 kettlebell swings. These are American kettlebell swings. If you're going for RX, it's a 53-pound kettlebell for guys, a 35-pound kettlebell for the ladies, and then 12 pull-ups. You're doing that for 3 rounds, 4 time. A fast Helen time is in the 7 to 8 minute time domain. An average Helen time, I would say, is going to be in the 10 to 12 minute range, give or take. But that is all subjective to what equipment we have and where we're at as athletes. It's not about the score. It's just, especially in this season, it's about staying consistent and doing something every single day. So let's talk a little bit about how this is going to go. Now, with the 400 meters, as I mentioned in an earlier video this week, if you haven't yet already, I know for those of us that were members during the first shutdown, we probably know what our distances are based on, courses and things like that we mapped out and stuff around our houses. So if you haven't gone on Google Maps and used their little, tracking system to figure out what the distances are, you can easily map out a 400-meter run, find 200 meters out from your front door or from your garage or from your back door or wherever you're leaving, and 200 meters out, 200 meters back, that's going to be a 400-meter run. So we'll talk about kettlebell swings and pull-ups and how we can scale these and what equipment we can use if I say have a dumbbell and not a kettlebell. Or if I don't have a pull-up bar and any of that sort of stuff. And we did link on Monday's video with the pull-ups on Monday. We did link a video showing you how to set up a bed sheet over a door to do some body weight rows. And I do want to show you guys or go over bent over rows with a barbell, or you can even do it with a dumbbell or kettlebell or anything else like that. But we're going to talk about some bent over rows too. So how can we get that pulling motion and engaging the lats if I don't have a pull-up bar? Either way, 3 rounds for time. This one should be a fairly short time domain workout. Let's go talk about our kettlebell swings and our pull-ups. So starting with the kettlebell swings. I generally want, when I'm starting a swing, to start with my kettlebell maybe about a foot in front of my feet. That way when I pick it up, it's naturally going to swing backwards and get into a good loaded position to go into my swing. Now, these being American swings, we can go all the way up overhead. Now, if I'm doing swings with a dumbbell, and I will explain how that works, I would keep those rushing. And I'll show you that when I talk about that here in just a second. But starting off with the actual kettlebell, I'm going to pick it up, and this is a hip-driven movement, so I'm going to squeeze my butt, throw my hips forward, and send that kettlebell up. So coming all the way up overhead, I'm looking for a good lockout position with the arms, so elbows are straight. That kettlebell is pointing up towards the ceiling. But again, big drive with my hips. The more aggressive I get with my hips, the easier that swing gets. So I'm doing 21 of those. Now, if I have a dumbbell, got a 45-pound kettlebell and a 45-pound dumbbell, so that's not fitting. Now, if I have a dumbbell, I can take this and I'm going to grab onto one head. And you'll see why I don't want to do an American swing with a dumbbell, because it's harder to hold on to and control that implement. But I'm going to grab onto the head, and from here I'm going to do the same swing, except this time I'm just coming up to eye level. So same motion, same hip-driven movement, but a different implement entirely, and some way to work around that. Now, is that going to tax your grip a little more? Yeah. Is it supposed to? Yeah, it's supposed to. Helen is a grippy workout. So, we talk about that with our kettlebell, with our dumbbell. You can do that with just about anything. Now, if you don't have a kettlebell or a dumbbell, see, we did tuck jumps and stuff like that yesterday. I'm not thinking of anything specific. Hopefully you've got one or the other of something either way, focus on that hip drive on those kettlebell swings. Now, for the pull-ups, if I have a pull-up bar, the standard on the pull-ups is the same standard it's been on pull-ups forever. My arms start extended, my chin goes over the bar. As long as my chin breaks the horizontal plane of the bar, I'm good. So that pull-up can be strict, it can be kipping, it can be all kinds of other things to get up there. Either way, if I've got the pull-up bar, I trust that you know where you're at on your pull-ups. If you don't have pull-ups, if you have a set of rings, you can always do ring rows, or very similar motion to that bed sheet row that we're going to link the video to as well. The other option I want to talk about today in place of pull-ups, because the primary mover on the pull-up is your lats. So that big old muscle back here, if I want to get that engaged, but I don't have a place to do pull-ups, a bent over row is a great way to do that. Now, I could do it with a barbell, a kettlebell, or a dumbbell. Ideally, I'd have 2 implements, but if I have one, same rules apply to the pull-ups as they would to, say, like the handstand push-ups from yesterday. If I'm doing a single press, I'm going to double my reps. If I'm doing a single implement on my pull-ups, I'm going to double my reps so I can get both sides. I'm not just going to do 12 total, but how that bent over row is going to work, if I have a dumbbell, I'm going to keep my chest nice and tall. I'm going to hinge forward at my hips. I'm going to try to keep my back neutral. I don't want to round my spine when I get set up for this. But the closer I can get to the ground, the better. Now, if you have a bench or if you have something that you can like rest a hand on, that's okay too. That way you can isolate things. So this might feel a little bit like gym bro type workout. But if I had something to rest my hand on, I can get my back more parallel without having to fight for that position. Arm is nice and extended. I'm going to row that dumbbell all the way up to my chest. Notice that my elbow stays nice and close. And I'm squeezing my lat at the top. So I would go 12 on my right side. I'd go 12 on my left side. And that would suffice in place of pull-ups. Now I could do the same thing with the kettlebell. Same exact movement, different implement. Still pulling all the way up. I'm trying to get my hand to the side of my chest. And then back to full extension. So I can do that with either of those. Now if I have a barbell, ideally I would say load it up heavier than you think you will, but if you only have lightweight because we had to spread all our equipment out across a bunch of people, that's okay, use what you have. Same idea on the barbell. I'm going to go ahead and grab it. Now, you can't really switch grip bent over row very well, but you could go palms out, or that standard double overhand grip that we would use for a clean or a deadlift or anything else like that. I'd recommend overhand if you feel more comfortable or confident, or that you hit your lats in a different way, rotating your grip. You can change it up as you go through your workout. So, from here, I'm going to grab the bar, I'm going to get it off the ground and get in a good position, and then I'm rowing that bar up to my solar plexus. Now if I want to isolate to my lats, I want to try to keep that as strict a range of motion as possible. What I want to try not to do is create a ton of momentum by moving my back. And I'll show you what that looks like. Now if this happens because you get tired, that's one thing. But from here, I'm not creating momentum and trying to do my row that way. I'm isolating to my lats and making sure that the muscles that I want to work are working, not defaulting to other things. So, that's all that on pull-ups. Let's go back to the board and let's look back at what this workout is again. So, again, Helen-ish. Some of us might be able to do the actual Helen. If we can, cool. If we can't, do what you can. But Helen-ish, 400-meter run, 21 kettlebell swings or swings of some nature, 12 pull-ups, 3 rounds for time. Again, if I'm using one implement, double this number, 24, 12 on your right, 12 on your left. Then go ahead and move on. Yes, that will increase your time domain a little bit, but that's okay. It's not about having the fastest time. It's about getting a good workout. It's about staying active, staying healthy, staying in a good place mentally, because the Lord knows breathing and sweating helps here with all the other bullshit we have to deal with every day. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one today. Short and sweet, but pretty brutal at the same time. So with that, guys, hopefully it's raining, or hopefully it's not raining. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Run those 400 meters a little bit harder than you want to. That's one of the best ways to save time on this. So knowing that, let's get after it.